Do not look for anyone to validate you as an African in the world, because if you look for someone to validate you, you will end up smelling stink.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
You are listening to Visionary Talk Radio with Reverend Bagan Tewa, the Lamb Christ Consciousness. Yes, talking about, for those who are students, talking about spiritual warfare on our people. Because I don't think our people today see themselves in a war. We don't see ourselves in a war, for many different reasons. One of the reasons when we walk outside, we don't see people with green clothes, we don't see guns, we don't see all of these things. We don't see soldiers up parade in the streets and things like that. So we figure to ourselves we are safe. Many people, that is what they think. There is no spiritual war. But if we understand what a spiritual war is all about, we'll understand that you don't need to see a green uniform. You don't need to see a gun to know that there is a spiritual war on our people. We don't need to see that. There's many things that we can look and say, this is a war on our people. Many different things we can do that, not just the guns and the uniform. Sometimes we have to put these things aside because it will fool you. And more than just that, when we look at the television, because we have a big screen TV, we have the education, or because we have some money, we feel there is no spiritual war that is going on in our communities and in our lives. That is what many people believe, what they see. But it's not about what you see. It's sometimes the things that you don't see. It's when you turn your back and people say things about you. It's about the banks. You don't know what the banks are dealing with. You don't know what the government are dealing with. You don't know the decision they make about your life each day. You see, these are the things that you don't see. These are the things they will not talk about. They talk about what they want you to know, and what they don't want you to know, they don't talk about it. You see, this is a spiritual war. So of course you're going to feel everything is safe and dandy, and everything is crystal clean in your mind. But we got to look around, and see that something is wrong. We talk about it so perfect, and when we look at it and we see our brothers and sisters are struggling to make ends meet, we see the criminals and the thieves in our community, and we don't know what to do. You see, we see the guns in our street, and we don't manufacture guns. We don't make guns. We don't manufacture drugs and things like that. You see, and we don't feel it's a war. You got to ask yourself, where have all these guns coming from? Who put in these drugs in the community? These things are spiritual warfare on our people. But you don't see it. Listen, what are you going to do? A lot of times, if you don't live the life of a poor person, you will never understand. I always say it. The only time that you understand poverty is when you grow up in poverty. You can sympathize with a poor person as a millionaire, as a rich person. But if you don't grow up poor, you don't know what to walk the streets sometime bare feet. You don't understand. It's only a poor person can understand another poor person. Sometimes when we see people poor, we say they put themselves in that condition. You see, we like to say things like that, but people are not poor for all the same reason. There are many poor people in this world for different reasons. Some people are poor because they choose to be poor. Some people are poor because they don't have the education to get a certain job, so they settle for certain things in life. They settle for nothing in life. And there are those who are poor and don't even know they are poor in spirit and in soul and in truth. They don't know they are poor. Some people are walking around because they have $50 in the pocket, or because they get some money in the bank. They feel they are rich and don't know they are poor. This is a society that we are living, confusion. There are some who know and cannot do nothing about it. Because the world that we live in today dictate the greater things in what you call the masses, and if you have a certain look about yourself, that is the power today. This is the reality. So we find the righteous saying nothing. We find the righteous taking a back seat. And some of those who claim to be righteous, they know nothing about God. They can stand on the pulpit and preach and do not will never wake a soul in their life. I'll say it again. There are those who will stand on the pulpit and preach and will not save a soul or cannot save a soul from their sin. This is the world that we live in today. Teachers claiming to be teachers and they are not teachers, they are criminals. Police claiming to be police and they are not, they are criminals. Lawyers claiming to be lawyers and they are demons of the devil. We know that. Look around. We know what a doctor is all about. And some doctors claim to be doctors and they don't care about the sick. All they care about is about the money that they put in their pockets. This is the real I'm talking. And I know it's early in the morning and a lot of our people cannot deal with this type of truth. They rather deal with the lies. They rather deal with the fantasy that believe that something is coming good. Listen to me, my people. I always say to you, things do not change unless you change it. Stop looking for Christ coming in the cloud. Stop looking for this to happen. You got to make change happen to you. And when I say stop looking for Christ coming in the cloud, I'm not saying do not look for Christ coming, because we know there is a Christ to come. But He's not coming as the churches want you to believe. He's coming in the cloud, yes, not the cloud in the sky. When we say cloud, for those who understand the truth and who know the scripture, when we talk about the cloud, we are talking about confusion, tribulation. That is the times that Christ is coming, not the cloud, as 7 days want you to believe, Pentecostals want you to believe, and all those churches want you to believe that He's coming in the cloud. And if you talk to them, and if you can talk to these people, they believe in a fantasy. They believe in that fantasy that Christ is coming in the cloud. The Bible say no such thing. The Bible say He's going to be born of a mother, a woman flesh, and those who don't believe it going to be the Antichrist. This is what we got to understand. That is why we know there's a spiritual war on our people. Not just in the churches, not just in politics, not just about food. It's not just about what you call the schools. The education is everywhere you can think. North, east, west, south. The war is coming at you. So my people, get prepared. Know that there's a war on you. Understand that. No, it's a war. Whether it's in the church, the war is there. Because when you go to the church and you sit, what is the first thing they got you to believe? That you have to believe in a blue-eyed Jesus. That is war, my people. To believe in a white Christ is war. Because if you believe that the sun is white, Caucasian, that means you believe that God also is white. It's a war on your mind. It's a spiritual war. And all the demons are black. You got to understand it. I'm not making it up. Some of the churches still preaches that today. Some of the churches, you open their little books and you will see that they paint Christ as a European man with blue eyes as I speak you today. It's a war on our people, man, on our people, but you don't see it. You don't know how to see it because you are still trying to fit into His world of ignorance and arrogance against you. That is what you are doing. When we sit there and we pretend that what we see things is wrong and we pretend it's not wrong. This is what we call a spiritual war, because the people themselves don't know how to fight, how to deal with this kind of war. A spiritual war is placed on our people. Satan got you nice. What did the Bible say? The Bible said the whole world shall be confused. That is what the Bible said, this whole world. Why we are confused? Because we don't know how to discern truth. We don't know when we see lies. We don't know. That is what it's about, and we call ourselves spiritual, but we cannot discern the lies that we are seeing in front of us. And even though we can discern these lies, we still don't know how to go about it. To tell another brother, listen, you are listening to lies. Listen, African Christians around the world, if you are sitting in a church today and they have a blue-eyed Jesus, listen to me very carefully. You know that is a spiritual war if you are listening to this program this morning. It's a spiritual war against you. It's a spiritual war against your children, against your grand and against your nation. If you turn around and you have to fight for a meal, it's a spiritual war. As I'm talking to you today, you might have food in your refrigerator, you might have food on your table, but some part of this world, little children went to sleep with a hungry belly, little children waking up, nothing to eat today. You got to understand it, black people, Africans of the world. This is a spiritual war against you. And you don't know how to deal with it. This is what I'm beginning to understand as we as Africans of the world, we don't know how to deal with this spiritual war that these people put against you. Everywhere you turn, you become your worst enemy. It's a spiritual war. You cannot turn around one day in your community and look at your brother and say, he looked like the devil, or he looked like the enemy, or he looks like he's going to do something wrong. Yes, it's a spiritual war against my people, but we going to wake up. We going to culminate to the truth. We going to realize there's something in you. You got to realize that there's something great in you. There's something great in your brother. There's something great in your next door neighbor. You got to understand that. What am I talking about? That Spirit of God that dwells in you, that is sleeping. That your spirit cannot discern truth, but that Spirit of God within you can discern the truth. It can talk about truth and you can see the truth, and you can talk about lies and you will see the lies when they come at you. But you got to wake up. You got to stop seeing yourself as nothing. You got to stop seeing yourself that something is wrong with you. You got to stop seeing. Look for yourself within you. Find you within your mind. Do not look for anyone to validate you as a human being. That is what I'm saying to you. Do not look for anyone to validate you as an African in the world. Because if you look for someone to validate you, you will end up smelling stink. Yes, you will, and smelling dirty. That is what you're going to do. If you wait for someone to validate you, you will never shine as God wants you to shine. You will never be bright as a star as God wants you to be bright. I'm going to say it again. If you African people of the world who are listening to me now, if you are waiting for they to validate you, you're going to wake up smelling stink. You're going to wake up smelling dirty and not going to be a good smell. Do not wait for anyone to validate you as a human being. You take that right within you. You know what is good and you know what is wrong. So let's stand on the principles of truth and justice and righteousness within your soul. That is what we got to do as black people. Do not wait for anyone. I'm going to say it again. What did the Bible say? The Bible said the world shall hate you because of your love for God. Even a murderer knows that he got something good in him. So you who never commit a crime, you who never break the rules of God, you who never steal, you who never lie, why do you think something wrong with you this morning? Wake up from that nonsense. You never tell a lie, you never cheat, you never curse a black man, you never curse a woman, and you go walking around thinking something wrong with you just because you are black, just because you are dark skinned, just because you are brown, and if you yellow, someone is the same things for some. It's the same thing. We walking with our mind somewhere else. I tell my people all the time, do not be afraid to steal your mind back. Take it back. Take back your mind. Become that African once again. Regain that power and strength in the universe as God has given to you. If you do nothing else, take back your mind. If you don't realize anything else, realize that there is a war on you, on your children. And it didn't just start now. It started long time before the plantation. Didn't the Bible tell us that? The war that didn't begin in the plantation. That war, that spiritual war that we are talking about, begin before slavery. It begins before slavery. Listen, when the devil walk in and see you, what did he do? How did the devil see you living? How did the devil see you living before slavery? Before the Africans pick up guns and fight one another? Before they keep you in prison? What were we doing before? This is the question most of us fail to answer and understand. But if we understand the question and understand how to answer this question, what were we doing before we run into, oh no, let's put the enemy run into us. What were we doing? We were living like human beings. We were living in harmony with one another. We were living in joy. We were living in peace before someone came in and disturbed your peace. What did the devil saw that you take for granted today? What did the devil see inside of you? I'm going to tell you what the devil saw inside of you. He see the same thing that I see. He see greatness in you. He see God inside of you. He see talent and ambition in you. Because there's no one can dance like you on this planet. There's no one can sing like you on this planet. There's no one can make style and fashion like you in this planet. What did the devil see in you? He see greatness upon greatness upon greatness. That is what the devil saw in you. I'm going to let you know if you don't know what you get inside of you. I'm going to tell you what you get in you. You have greatness, you have God in you, and the devil saw it. An ambition and talent beyond the skies, the devil saw it. And the devil wanted the talent, he wanted the ambition, he wanted the God inside of you. He became greedy in the face of the hurt. He wanted everything that God has given to you. And he manipulates your mind to believe that you got nothing. That is what the devil have done to our people. He make us believe that we have nothing, and we go around today talking about we have nothing and we are nobody. That is what the devil have done to you before slavery. He manipulates your mind to believe that you are nothing, you are nothing good about you, that you are black and you are nothing good about you. And we say it to one another even today as I speak. We say it to one another as I speak. We should be ashamed of ourselves, but I understand, I do not blame you because you do not see the greatness in you. Nor do you understand where that greatness is coming from. I understand when you go around talking about you are nothing. You see, what you are doing is this. You are only seeing what in front of you. It's not about what in front of you. It's about what you are not seeing. Do you know how much money they get in the bank? You can go online and read how much money they get in the USA, Canada, London, these places. You can go and look. Probably they do get the record somewhere. But if you believe that, you'll be a fool to believe that these people who went around the world stealing your culture, who went around the world raping you and doing all such of wicked things to you, you think these people are going to really put a record how much money they get in the bank? Let's be real. What did the Bible say? The Bible say that they will claim that they are poor and they are rich. You see, I'm just saying what the Bible say. They will say they have nothing and they are filthy rich. And when a poor man listen to that rhetoric, when we listen to those things, you understand? When we listen to it, we tend to believe because that is your position. Listen, if someone said they are poor and I'm poor, I'm going to believe it. I'm going to even sympathize with you. That is how clever the devil is all about. That is what he's all about. For you to sympathize with him so you will not rebel against him. That is why he plays those games in you. He don't want you to rebel against lies and all of these things. So you always have to do things to keep your mind in a certain way of not rebelling against the lies and the wickedness that he placed you into. Yes, we got to be real. We got to be pensive. We got to be perspicacious. How are we going to do these things when we don't recognize God? How are you going to wake up feeling good and you have no God in you? Let truth be the day, the order of the day. Listen, going to take a break right here and I'm coming back. You know, we're going to beat the devil up this morning. We're going to beat him. Yes, we're going to beat the devil this time. Yes, God give you that power and authority. Yes, you got it. And you don't know you get it, but I'm telling you this morning, you get the power within your soul to change your life today. You don't have to wait for 1,000 years to come. You don't have to wait for tomorrow. This is part of the change that we got to do. Wake up and see the power and authority within your soul, your mind, your body. Wake up. Listen, you listen to Visionary Talk Radio with Reverend Bagan Tewa, the Lamb, Christ Consciousness. Listen, I love this song so much, I'm going to play it again. And for those who are tuning to us, I say good morning to you again. African love.